Start back again, Victoria, with question number 3. Caleb Julian, read question number 3, please.
Compare and contrast excess and limiting reactant. Give an example to support your answer.
Okay, perfect. We're going to compare and contrast excess and limiting reactant, and I'm going to give an example to support the answer. All right, now, let me give you a quick review of limiting reactant, and I don't know if I discussed this enough with you guys. I did with second block, but let's see if I did this with you. Did we talk about sandwiches?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Now, let's say that I have 5 hams, and I have 8 breads.
You're gonna have one left. You're gonna have one piece of ham.
All right, let's make, this is in my kitchen, and this is on my table after I make it. How many, there we go. I'm using up all my breads. I'm going to use up as much of my ham, but shucks, what's left over?
One piece of ham.
1 piece of ham. Now somebody's going to eat it, but it's not a sandwich anymore, is it? Okay? So now, let's talk about the formula for this. How many hams go into 1 sandwich? 1. How many breads go into 1 sandwich? 2. And to make 1 sandwich, what's the formula in terms of H and B? It's HB2. Okay? Now, if I have 5 hams, all right, and 8 breads, with my 5 hams, how many HB2s can I make? 5 sandwiches. With my breads, how many sandwiches can I make? 4. Well, which one did we actually make? The larger amount or the smaller amount? So we can only make this smaller amount, okay? We can make that smaller amount because we're limited by this guy, which is called our limiting reactant. And if the bread is the limiting reactant, what is this one called? Did I give you a name for that? Excess reactant. Now, excess, of course, is spelled like this. But we usually give limiting reactant and excess reactant an abbreviation so that it's quicker for us to write. So if this is the limiting reactant, the bread, the ham is the excess reactant, and what do we have left over? Our excess reactant. So the leftover sitting around on the table is always going to be the excess. You have a pressure problem over there. Your tongue is turning purple.
What does that say, mate? Miss Marlon, what does that say? Make
Stop.
what?
What, Neely?
Make what amount?
Smaller amount. Smaller. Okay. Okay, now let's do a compare and a contrast.
You got a stung tuck in there.
Here we go. Isn't this a great idea to compare and contrast. We're still on number 3, aren't we, Chris, Albert? You heard me. All right, limiting reactant and excess reactant. Well, here's the question. Compare. What's the same about a limiting and an excess reactant? Ham and bread. What's the same about them?
They go together.
They are both needed to make a product, right? And where do we find them? On the left or the right-hand side of the equation?
On the left. I mean right.
You mean left.
Left.
All right.
I thought the product. I thought the reactant.
Reactant is the left. It's whatever your ingredients are. The product is on the right. It's whatever you're making. All right. Now, let's talk about what the differences are. I think that's actually easier for us to discuss. Well, how about this? Which both are needed to make the product, and they're both written on the left side of the equation. All right. Which one am I going to have left over? Limiting or excess? Excess is going to be left over, right? What's going to be gone and what are we going to run out of? The limiting. All right, so we're going to run out of this reactant. We run out of this reactant. All right, now this is the most important thing. Which one determines the maximum amount of product we can make? The limiting. All right, so this determines the maximum amount of product we make. Right, Brian? Come up. This is number 3. Yes, and we are done. We're done with number 3. Mm-hmm. You use them on your assignment sheet.
Left side of work. You didn't give us
Of equation.
Yeah, I know. I need to get that going. I've been such a good student lately. Numero quattro. Do y'all understand what that means? Do you love those Venn diagrams a little bit? Sort of. All right. Number 4. Let's have Garth read number 4 out loud, please.
Okay.
Sure.
Compare and contrast actual and
Theoretical.
theoretical yield. Explain how each value is determined and how it relates.
Miss Mel, make sure it doesn't go over 12 minutes.
Percent yield. Give an example to support your answer.
Right.